From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
Good evening, I'm Lakshit Singha, and to start off, let's take a quick look at the headlines.
The travel restrictions will be reimposed from 10 p.m. tonight till 4 a.m. on the 25th. Sri Lanka is to receive 78,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine in July. The number of worldwide corona-afflicted patients exceeds 180 million. Many countries are facing the impact of the Delta variant. Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as a parliamentarian. The 200 billion rupees supplementary estimate of the government has been approved. The Mihintala Aloka Puja begins.
On to those and other stories in detail, starting off with the top story for tonight. The travel restrictions are to be reimposed from 10 p.m. tonight until 4 a.m. on the 25th of this month. The police informed the general public to act according to guidelines. Police media spokesman Senior DIG Ajit Rohana said that only those who have assigned for essential services are permitted to travel during periods of travel restrictions. He added that the police will conduct island-wide roadblocks and mobile patrolling till 4 a.m. on next Friday. 433 persons who have breached health instructions have been arrested in the period of 24 hours that ended at 6 a.m. this morning. General Manager of Railways Gamini Seneviratne says that not a single train will be operated tomorrow after 10 p.m. tonight as a result of the imposition of travel restrictions at 10 p.m. tonight. State Minister Professor Chan Jayasumana says Sri Lanka is scheduled to receive 78,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine in the next month. The vaccines are to be brought to the island on the 5th, 12th and 19th of next month. 26,000 vaccinations are scheduled to be conducted on each of the 3 days.
mRNA-based Pfizer vaccine, which is used in USA and several European countries. The Pfizer company, they confirmed that they are going to distribute 78,000 doses of Pfizer vaccines within the month of July. First consignment will be received on 6th July, it's 26,000 doses, and it will be followed by another 26,000 on 12th July and another 26,000 on the 19th July. At the same time, we are expecting donation from the United States, and they communicated us that most probably their donation will be Moderna type vaccines. It is also mRNA based vaccines. Once we get the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, it will be used as the second dosage for the AstraZeneca vaccines. We know that 570,000 people are waiting for their second dose who obtain AstraZeneca as their first dose. We will get 264,000 of AstraZeneca vaccines through the COVAX program of WHO, and it will be used for the second dosage. For the rest of the people, Pfizer and Moderna will be used.
The COVID immunization vaccination program is being conducted continuously in many districts. 20,816 vaccines have been given yesterday. So far, 3,345,165 vaccine doses have been provided. 1,358 COVID-19 patients were detected in the country today. Meanwhile, 1,890 patients left the hospitals today following recovery. The health divisions reiterate that children with any disease condition should be immediately directed for medical treatment. Meanwhile, the Mahasangha requests the devotees to restrict to their residences the religious observances in connection with the Poson festival.
In the meantime, taking a look at the global situation of the pandemic, the overall global COVID-19 caseload surpassed the 180 million milestone today, while the deaths have surged to more than 3.88 million. Meanwhile, India has surpassed the 30 million mark in COVID-19 cases, registering more than 50,000 additional infections during the past 24 hours. The US continues to be the worst hit country with the world's highest number of cases and deaths at 33.5 million and 602,455. In terms of infections, India follows in the second place with 29,977,861 cases, and in terms of deaths, Brazil comes second with 504,717 fatalities. The Delta variant of the coronavirus that causes the disease COVID-19, first detected in India, now represents more than 20% of coronavirus infections in the US in the last 2 weeks. The US health experts warned that the country could be following the United Kingdom's course, where the variant has become the dominant strain due to rapid spread among youth. The variant is accounting for half of new infections in the Midwestern and Western regions of the country. Russia has reported 548 virus-related deaths, the most confirmed in a single day since February, amid a surge in new cases due to the new Delta variant. The country has confirmed 17,594 new cases in the last 24 hours, taking the national case total to 5.36 million since the pandemic began. In the meantime, India has surpassed the 30 million mark in COVID-19 cases, registering 50,848 additional infections during the past 24 hours.
Now, meanwhile, a new study by the University of Oxford has revealed that the AstraZeneca and Pfizer vaccines remained broadly effective against the Delta variant of COVID-19.
The AstraZeneca and Pfizer vaccines remain broadly effective against the Delta and Kappa variants of the COVID-19 virus. That is according to a new study. Research by the University of Oxford looked into whether the shots generated antibodies that could neutralise the new variants. It concluded that they should still work, though it did find that the concentration of antibodies in the blood of vaccinated people was somewhat reduced. The researchers said that could lead to some breakthrough infections. Last week, an official analysis in the UK showed that the two shots provided 90% protection against hospitalisation with the Delta variant. The World Health Organization says it is now becoming the globally dominant version of the disease.
In the meantime, Israel's world-beating COVID-19 vaccination rollout has a weak link: adolescents. They are now the front line of the campaign, with fears of the Delta variant prompting reluctant parents to get their children vaccinated.
Israel's impressive COVID-19 vaccine drive is now targeting teenagers amid a rise in cases blamed on the Delta variant. Around 3/4 of the country's population within eligible age groups have already received their shots. But Health Ministry data says that only includes 2 to 4% of 12 to 15-year-olds since the group was given the green light this month. After daily cases more than doubled on Monday, after outbreaks at 2 schools, many reluctant parents are now feeling pressure to put their children forward for the vaccine. Yizhak Nevo is one of them.
We came today to vaccinate Chen. She is 13 years old, and I was waiting until the Minister of Health will give the approval to vaccinate her age. When it's arrived, there was no any more COVID in Israel, so my wife said leave it. But now, after the COVID outbreak and all this situation, I said today, I don't give a damn, today.
The Health Ministry recommended parents vaccinate their 12 to 15-year-olds on Monday. It's even investing in outreach programs to get parents to bring their children in for shots. Israel's 2 largest healthcare providers say appointments for teen vaccinations have doubled and tripled in recent days. But some parents, like Eldad Askoff, aren't convinced. It's a dilemma. Experts say there will be no herd immunity if the younger generation is not vaccinated. But Israel's handling of the coronavirus so far has been so successful that it's dropped almost all social distancing and will open its borders to vaccinated tourists next month. Israel uses the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine on its population, but its effectiveness against the Delta variant in the country is not yet clear. Some studies abroad where Delta is more common have found the shot to be effective.
Now back here in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka Red Cross has presented 100 oxygen supply equipment for the treatment of COVID patients yesterday. The items were handed over to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees. President of the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society, Jagat Abesinghe, has presented the equipment to the Prime Minister according to a request from Brethren Red Cross Societies. This was an outright donation by the Red Cross Society of Singapore. The Prime Minister has handed over the equipment to Minister of Health Pavitra Vanyarachi. The President of the Sri Lanka Red Cross said on this occasion that Sri Lanka is scheduled to receive a further consignment of medical equipment from comrade Red Cross societies in the next few weeks. Prime Minister's Secretary Gamini Senarath and Chief of Prime Ministerial Staff Yoshitha Rajapaksa were also present at the handing over ceremony. A book titled Asirimat Matavak, written by retired government official Edward Amarasinghe, was presented to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees last evening. The book provides valuable advice to daughters who are expecting to enter married life and also to those who are anticipating to become mothers on leading a virtuous life. In the meantime, leader of the United National Party Ranil Wickremesinghe was sworn in as a member of parliament before Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abewardena this morning. Several UMP members were present at the Parliament entrance road to welcome the new parliamentarian. Ranil Wickremesinghe has entered parliamentary chamber amidst the greetings of the party activists. Ranil Wickremesinghe, after taking oaths before the Speaker, has signed the name list of parliamentarians before Secretary General of Parliament Dhammika Disanayake. He has received a warm welcome from ruling and opposition MPs, including ministers. Ranil Wickremesinghe, after taking oaths in his new parliamentary position, has visited Abhayaramaya in Narahempita and called on chief incumbent of the Viharasthanaya, Venerable Muruttettuwe Ananda Thero. The new MP has received the blessings of the Mahanayaka Thero.
A 200 billion rupee supplementary estimate presented by the government to fulfill emergency needs, including controlling of the COVID-19 pandemic, was approved in Parliament without having a vote today. A somewhat heated exchange of words regarding fuel price increase was also witnessed. Parliamentarian Nalin Bandara Jayamaha said that he has repeatedly questioned Minister of Power regarding the fuel price increases. He added that, however, he was not given a proper reply. Therefore, the MP has requested the Speaker to intervene in the issue. Minister Udayagamampila said that he could respond to the queries of the Member of Parliament but was not sure whether he had brains to understand his reply. Parliamentary representatives of the Samagi Janabalawegaya have commenced protest in the chamber over the fuel price hikes. At the session of the verbal responses to the queries, the SJB members were seen displaying placards and engaging in protest. They were at the very centre of the parliamentary chamber. A special feature in today's events has been the absence of opposition at the time of receiving verbal responses, despite the fact that most of the queries have been raised by the opposition itself. Minister Pavitra Vanyarash has given a breakup on the expenditures of the COVID-19 Health and Social Security Fund. Accordingly, the cost of conducting PCR tests amounted to 42.6 million rupees. A further 67.5 million rupees has been spent on educating on quarantine activities and 38 million rupees for provision of facilities at the quarantine centres. In addition, 41.5 million rupees has been spent on the vaccination program. The total expenditure is 89.7 million rupees. The Sri Lanka Army has presented a proposal on the purchasing of ambulances. The procurement process is being finalized. However, funds have not been allocated in this regard through the current fund. The fund is being regulated by a management committee comprising of 17 intellectual professionals representing numerous fields. The committee has been appointed by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa through the cooperation of the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The minister further said that a detailed report on the expenditures of the fund is expected to be presented to the Parliament. Minister Dr. Bandara Gunawardena said that the opposition is greatly upset over the swearing in of UNP leader as an MP. However, powerful members of the opposition, including Champika Ranawaka, Rajitha Senaratne, Sambandhan and Anurukumara Disanayake, were not present today.
තත්ත්වය වෙනත් දිශානතියකට යොමු කිරීම සඳහා අද පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුළ මෙවැනි හැසිරීම් රටාවක් ඇති කළාද කියන ප්‍රශ්නේ අපි දකිනවා. මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ අප්‍රබුද්ධ තත්ත්වය නතර කළා නැවතත් ප්‍රබුද්ධ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවක් ඇති කර ගැනීමට දැන්වත් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතාගේ නායකත්වයෙන්වත් විපක්ෂයට ඉඩ ප්‍රස්තාව ලැබේවා කියලා පතමින් මගේ වචන කීපය ඉවර කරනවා.
මට අතීතය ගැන වැඩි කතා කරන්න ඕනේ
නැහැ. said that he did not want to talk too much on the past. He added that the year 2019, the foreign exchange reserve of the country stood at $7 billion. But today it has been reduced to $4 billion. He also said that Minister Udayagamampila had commented on the debt crisis at the Petroleum Corporation. The member also said that the Petroleum Corporation was not accorded an opportunity to repay its debt. There is debt of around 3 billion rupees. However, they are not included in the statistics. Ranil Wickremesinghe also said that commercial banks are also in debt. This affects the country. He also said that we must discuss on how to get over the problem. Some say that it would take 2 to 3 years to resolve the issue, while others say a solution would not be able to find until 10 years from today. State Minister Sudarshini Fernandopoulos said that a sum of 72 million rupees is being spent daily on PCR testing. 15 billion rupees are being spent by the government in this regard. The State Minister also said that they are unable to predict whether the pandemic will come to an end by next year.
The Mihintala Aloka Puja, organised annually in connection with the Poson Full Moon Poya Day, was inaugurated last evening. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa has presided over the event. The National Poson Festival will commence at the Mihintala sacred site tomorrow. A week-long religious observances has been organised according to health guidelines and without the participation of the general public. The Lake House Institute and the Ceylon Electricity Board are extending assistance to the Mihintala Aloka Puja program. The ceremonies have got underway under the patronage of Chief Incumbent of the Mihintala Rajamahaviharasthanaya, Venerable Dr. Walava Hengunawave Damratana Thero. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa has declared open the Aloka Puja. Among the ministers and officials who have attended the inauguration ceremony included Ministers Dr. Keheli Rambukwella, Dallas Alha Peruma and S.M. Chandrasena, State Ministers Duminda Disanayaka, Governor Mahipala Herath, Chairman of the Associated Newspapers of Ceylon Limited, President's Counsel W. Dayaratna, Chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board Vijitha Herath and Director General of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation Ajit Naragala. The national television has telecast live the proceedings of the Aloka Puja. The SLRC is also scheduled to provide a live commentary on the State Poson Festival and the Sadharma Varsha Poya Day program scheduled to take place at the Mihintala sacred site tomorrow.
In the meantime, the Karadhiana Refuse Management Project is responsible for the process of transforming garbage collected in 7 local government institutions in the Colombo district into organic fertilizer. Under the program, 200 metric tons of organic fertilizer is being manufactured every month. The Karadhiana Refuse Management Project is being managed by the Waste Management Authority of the Western Provincial Council. The final location of disposal of the garbage being accumulated in the municipal councils of Dehiwala Mount Lavinia, Sri Jayawardhanapura Kotte, Moratua, as well as in the urban councils in Maharagamu, Boralasgamu, Kasbava and the Homagama Pradesha Sabha is the Karadhiana field. All refuse being dumped are being categorized under 2 groups, decaying and non-decaying. It has also been reported that 15 metric tons of decaying refuse has been brought to Karadhiana in a single day in the year 2015. The garbage capacity at the location has now increased to between 180 and 200 metric tons. Currently, 50 metric tons of compost fertilizer is being manufactured daily utilizing decaying material. Measures have been taken to release 200 metric tons of compost fertilizer to the market on a monthly basis.
The 97th birth anniversary of former President late Ranasinghe Premadasa has fallen today. A floral felicitation ceremony was held in this connection before the Ranasinghe Premadasa statue at the Halfsdorp Courts Complex in Colombo. Opposition leader Ajit Premadasa, wife of the late President Hema Premadasa, and a group including parliamentarians of the Samugi Jana Balawegaya have also attended the event.
Chanting of the Ratana Sutras centering on 8 Viharasthanayas in the island, extending blessings to local and worldwide populations affected by the COVID pandemic, has commenced yesterday. The Pinkama has been organized covering 8 directions of the country. The chanting will take place for a period of 7 days, starting each day's ceremonies at 7:11 p.m. The Viharasthanayas involved in the Sati Pirit chanting program are the Gangarama Viharasthanaya in Palatota in Srinaga Viharasthanaya in Jaffna, Kanadisavarama Viharasthanaya, Handapanagala, the Rajamaha Viharasthanayas in Kalaniya, Devinuvara, Seruvila, Seruvavila, Matota, and the Somavati Rajamaha Viharasthanaya. Chief Incumbent of the Kalaniya Rajamaha Viharasthanaya, Venerable Professor Kollupitiamma in the Sangarakita Thera, has presided over the Ratana Sutra chanting ceremony at the Kalaniya Rajamaha Viharasthanaya yesterday. A group including State Minister Sisira Jayakodi has also participated in the event. The Pirit chanting ceremony at the Palatota Gangarama Viharasthana in Kaluthara has commenced under the patronage of Chief Incumbent of the Viharasthana and the Upapradhana Sanganayaka of Kaluthara Thotamuna Venerable Duvegoda Dhammarama Thera. The parliamentarian Anusha Pascal and a group have also attended the event. At the Kanabisavarama Viharasthana in Vallavaya, the Pirit chanting has got underway under the leadership of the Chief Incumbent of the Viharasthana, Venerable Govase Sangaratana Thera. Monaragala District Secretary Gunadasa Amarasekara and residents in the area have also graced the occasion. The Pirit chanting at the historic Somavati Viharasthana has commenced under the direction of Chief Incumbent of the Viharasthana, Venerable Dr. Pahamune Sumangala Thera. The group of officials of the North Central Provincial Ayurvedic Department has also participated. Another location where the Ratana Sutra is being chanted is the Devinura Viharasthana in Mathura. Chief Incumbent of the Viharasthana, Venerable Devinura Siri Sunanda Thera, has presided over the event. A group of officials of the Southern Province Department of Ayurveda was also present on the occasion. The Ratana Sutra is also being chanted at the Mangala Raja Mahaviharasthana in Seruva Villa. The Mathura Raja Mahaviharasthana in Malnar has also commenced a Ratana Sutra chanting ceremony yesterday. At the Sri Naga Viharasthana in Jaffna, the chanting ceremony has commenced under the patronage of Chief Incumbent of the Viharasthana, Venerable Meekaha Jadure Sri Vimala Nayaka Thera.
Anusha Palpiter has assumed duties as the new chairman of the Development Lotteries Board yesterday. Earlier, he was functioning as the secretary to the Ministry of Industries. Anusha Palpiter has fulfilled 34 years of service in the state service. He had commenced his profession as an audit inspector in the year 1987. He was admitted to the Sri Lanka Accountancy Service through an open competitive examination in the year 1990. In 1993, he had joined the Sri Lanka Customs as an assistant superintendent of customs. Thereafter, Anusha Palpiter has been functioning as an official in Sri Lanka Administrative Service and was promoted as a supra-grade official in 2013. He has rendered a more striking service by functioning as the Director General of Government Information. He has also functioned as the Director General of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation and Chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Anusha Palpiter has also taken over duties in the year 2010 as the Director General of the Sri Lanka Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. Meanwhile, Captain Nihal Keppetipola has also commenced duties as new chairman of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority yesterday. He has been a professional member in the field of merchant navy. Captain Keppetipola has extended services as managing director of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority from 2008 to 2015. He is a reputed past pupil of Dharmaraja College, Kandy.
Veteran drama teacher Kulasiri Buddhavatta has passed away this evening. He was 71 years old at the time of his demise. Buddhavatta has conducted an exceptional service to nurture the local field of drama. Kulasiri Buddhavatta was born in Buddhavatta village in Aranayaka, Mavanala on the 5th of May 1950. He had given new life to the indigenous upcountry dancing through the arts of the Buddhavatta generations of teachers. Kulasiri Buddhavatta had shown exceptional skills in both upcountry and low-country forms of dancing. He was a veteran artist who had extended a striking contribution for the advancement of the local dancing field. He was instrumental in playing a prominent role to inherit all skills in the local dancing profession to the future generation. There are a lot of new drama artists who have entered the field thanks to the teaching potentials of Kulasiri Buddhavatta. The late artist has remained indisposed for a long period and was residing at Kalapura in Mount Lavinia.
And that's all the stories for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, stay safe and good night.
Good night.